Welcome to Supply Chain Partners Coffee Break with Bastian Consulting, streaming live from LinkedIn and YouTube. Hello, everyone. Thank you for spending your coffee break with us today. I'm Dr. Sharon Grant, the founder of Supply Chain Partners. Supply Chain Partners is your global B2B marketplace and professional community to accelerate your business and supply chain goals. Now, if you have any questions you would like to ask us, you're welcome to enter those questions into the chat box, and we'll be taking questions from the audience later in the show. So grab a coffee and I'll explain what we'll be covering today. So today you'll get to find out more about Supply Chain Partners and what we're all about. And I'll introduce you to our gold partner, expert supplier member, Bastian Consulting, and you'll be able to find out about their very special recruitment offer for Supply Chain Partners members. Then I'll provide you with a tour of Supply Chain Partners Marketplace and our professional community. So at Supply Chain Partners, we take an educational approach to help industry professionals and decision makers to navigate through this complex and ever-changing world of business and supply chain. And we help them to discover, connect, and collaborate with global experts to learn about their innovative solutions at a deeper level. And we help our expert supplier members to educate, inform, and reach their target audience who are seeking innovative business and supply chain solutions to help their business to operate, improve, and grow, and also to help those who are seeking professional development opportunities. So today we are showcasing our gold partner, expert supplier member, Bastian Consulting. And I would like to introduce you to Tony Richter, the founding partner of Bastian Consulting. Thanks for joining us today, Tony.
Thanks, Sharon. It's great to be here.
Today, we'll be talking about a very special recruitment offer for Supply Chain Partners members by Bastian Consulting. Firstly, Tony, could you please provide an overview of Bastian Consulting and the locations and industries that you serve?
Sure. So we've been open for business for about 5 years now. So I've been in supply chain search for about 12 years, but I've had this business since mid-2017 after I moved back from Singapore. We cover roles across the Asia Pacific region. Currently, we've got assignments in Australia, New Zealand, Vietnam, Singapore, and Japan. So generally, most countries in the APAC region we've serviced or can service. And then from an industry perspective, it's generally across a broad range of verticals, including consulting, technology, logistics services, FMCG, retail, manufacturing. There's a whole medical device. I guess it just depends on the current client base, but most industries we've serviced at one point or another.
Excellent. Now, your recruitment expertise and specializations extend across supply chain management and technology. So let's talk about supply chain management. How did you come to focus on supply chain management as an area of recruitment specialization?
Sure. Well, I actually kind of fell into supply chain recruitment back in 2010. I used to work for a company called 𝗕𝗏𝗶𝗶, Australian-known global leader in metal recycling. And I worked for them in New Zealand and I worked for them in Canada. And I was actually going for a steel trader role. And the recruiter I went through was a supply chain recruiter. I didn't end up getting the job actually, but she said, well, you actually have some supply chain operational experience. And I didn't actually know what supply chain was at the time. I was kind of just, young grad out of uni, not really understanding business. And I fell into recruitment because I went through that process, didn't get the job. And then the recruiter I was going through said, well, would you ever think about coming into recruitment? And to be honest, at that point, I'd had some really bad experiences with recruiters. I'm not sure what everyone else's has been thus far. But I said, okay, well, look, I'll happy to talk a bit more. Ended up talking to her boss. Her boss hired me. And then so I kind of just fell into it by accident. And then I've always just kind of stuck into that space. So.
Excellent. Well, that's an excellent background in supply chain management. So how broad are the scope of the roles that you recruit in supply chain management?
Yeah, so in terms of supply chain, I think everyone's definition is different in terms of how it relates to their customer base and their product. But in terms of function within supply chain, we can recruit right from the demand management cycle. So S&OP, demand planning, IBP, through to your supply planning and raw material sourcing, your manufacturing, production planning, right, and then right through to your finished goods distribution and fulfillment. So anything around logistics, warehousing, operations, So generally, we've done most everything, including quality management and manufacturing as well. So from an end-to-end supply chain perspective, we've really got those roles covered. And from a seniority perspective, generally it's from your individual contributor roles to your middle management to functional heads. Salary ranges we typically recruit are between the 100 to 300K range. That's probably where we do the most of our activity.
Excellent. So that's an extensive scope of positions. So what are some of the biggest skills gaps you've seen over the past few years in supply chain management?
Yeah, look, I think a lot of organizations are struggling with supply chain right now. I think a couple of things have been clear. I think locally here in Oz specifically, we are a finished goods supply chain. There's not a lot of manufacturing, not a lot of production. So most of the goods are imported. And because of that, it's a fulfillment execution operational type supply chain. That's the majority of them here locally in Oz. And with that comes a requirement from a fulfillment and a day-to-day warehousing operational capability that you need good staff in the warehousing operations environment. What's happened over the last couple of years, obviously online transactions have ramped up even further. So the e-com pieces continue to accelerate because of COVID. That slowed down a little bit, but there's also a lot of new market entrants into Australia when it comes to 3PL logistics services, as well as e-com marketplaces and providers. And so that stretched the talent pool quite thin around e-com fulfillment, operational fulfillment as well. And so there are some clear gaps in supply chain, more on the logistics execution side. I think that's probably the biggest area to start with. I think we're still struggling with the data analytics, not necessarily in terms of crunching the data or analyzing the data, but making informed decisions as to what the data is telling us. The technology is so far advanced compared to 5-10 years ago when I first got into this space, but we're still struggling around decisive decision making from the data. I think that's still a gap as well. So I think those are probably the two biggest areas. The only other one I would talk about is obviously the digital capability of supply chain professionals. I think if you're in supply chain and you don't have digital skills now, you're going to become a fossil or become outdated as well. And I think it's imperative for supply chain professionals. You don't need to be a coder, but you do need to understand the connectivity and the integration of multiple technology platforms. And so, if you don't have digital skills as a supply chain person, you're probably going to get left behind moving forward.
That's really excellent advice. And supply chain and logistics positions, they do play a significant role in organizations. Mm-hmm. So let's now talk about your recruitment specialization in technology. Mm-hmm. So what are the scope of the roles that you recruit in technology?
Sure. So we've always worked with software vendors, right? So, I do see it in the future, just as a side comment, supply chain and tech blending into one, to be honest. Just the innate, I guess, connectivity between the two functions. So we've always dabbled in working with supply chain software vendors, and that was things around functional and technical consultants and project managers, more around the solution build and the delivery or solution architecture. From that, we are now moving more into, not only because of our internal capabilities, some of our staff are quite strong in this area now, the new staff, but also a request for support around engineers and some of the architecture work as well, right? So for now, again, most of the work is specifically around on the supply chain software vendor side, but we now have logistics partners coming to us who are building their own tech and who are looking to build up their own internal tech teams, where they're asking for cloud development engineers or full stack engineers or software engineers and things of that nature as well. So from a build and from a configuration and from a customization, we're being asked to find talent more in that space more and more. So,
well, they are very complementary fields, and technology is such a broad field. So what are the skills gaps you are seeing in technology?
So again, I'll put my supply chain hat on when answering that question. I think the skills gap in tech for supply chain right now is really around the integration and configuration. And it's an understanding and being that intermediary as that functional consultant or that functional lead. I think there's still a lack of an appreciation on the tech side for what the operations has to go through, right? And that's where that kind of intermediary, that functional consultant goes. And likewise, from the supply chain side, there's a lack of an understanding as to the timelines and build and process around configuring the software and being able to articulate how the right way to get the software to do what you want it to do, or the technology to do what you need it to do as well. So there's a gap there in that intermediary space around being able to blend the two spaces, the two functions, supply chain and tech, or the IT department, whatever you want to call it. So I think that's probably the biggest gap, and that's for, at least from the type of work that we do, it's that configuration and integration skill sets. You see right now there's a huge demand for upgrades around WMS and TMS and visibility and transparency and last mile tracking and all those types of technologies. And there's a huge amount of gap of people who can not only design the right processes to match the capability of the technology, but also to connect that specific technology to a broader tech stack as well. There are the types of software now are so specialized and so functional specific, where the old model was such an ERP-led, infrastructure where one system to do everything, and now you've got thousands of specialist tools to do one business process. And so that connectivity of the, your digital infrastructure and your digital tech stack, that's where the gap is right now, at least from the type of work that we do, and that's what we see.
That's great insight. Now, technology is a fast-changing environment. Let's now talk about your three primary services offered by Bastian Consulting. So let's unpack what each service entails. Could you please explain your talent mapping service?
Sure. So we have a talent mapping service or a market mapping service. It is primarily used for customers. Well, there's a couple of different reasons. One is around new market entrants. So if you're an organization coming to Australia or a new country, and you don't have an appreciation for market standards or conditions, or who's who in the zoo, or who's the leader for, who's the best sales director in WMS, as an example. There are reasons to go to the market to identify who are the professionals in this space who can do the role that you need to be done. There are times when you have specific skill gaps within your organization, and you need to identify what organizations house those skills, or which individuals within those organizations would be appropriate to target for future opportunities as well. So if there's a new product coming online, or a new business unit, or a new service offering coming into your organization, and that the internal skill isn't within the organization, but you're not ready to start recruiting the roles, but you want to see what the market can produce to help, validate your business case, as an example, you can do things like that to go to market, and we can provide that service to identify, there are 50 of X in the market. That's a small number, obviously. I'm using it as an example, and then it helps you kind of adjust your strategy potentially around your new product line, or your new business unit, or your new service offering. We also had I'll give it an example where a client used this type of service. We have a very large beverage manufacturing client who's a market leader here in Australia. They wanted to bring more female leaders into supply chain and manufacturing. So we set out on a 3-month exercise to identify females from other industries who would consider moving into their industry and they gave us some specific skills and transferable industries or territory education that they believe would be a good transfer into their business. And then we went to market and identified probably over, I think it was like 1,300 people across Australia and New Zealand who would be suitable for this type of career change, right? Who had transferable skills or territory education and experience. And then we presented that information back to the client, and they actually ended up hiring, I think, about 4 from that list as well. So I know 4 out of 1,300 doesn't sound like a lot, but in relation to, better bringing greater diversity to your gender diversity within your organization, that's another example where that service can provide, value to you as a business.
Excellent. That's a very proactive approach to building a talent pipeline.
Yeah.
Now, you also provide interim management and contracting services. So when do your clients use interim managers and contractors?
Sure. So this is another way. Again, there's a couple of reasons why you would use this type of service, whether it's a specific project. So we have one we've just started for a client who's going to be centralizing a supply chain function, and they need a 4 or 5 month contractor to come in and help set up the S&OP structure for this new centralized demand management cycle that's going to become in the new centralized supply chain function. So sometimes it's a small piece of work that they need someone to come in quickly who has an expert level of capability, who can come in, do a specific set of work, and then exit the business and not need to stick around. Sometimes there are situations, depending on the size of the organization, where they prefer us to have the employee on our books from a payrolling perspective as well. So depending on the nature of the contract, depending on the nature of the organization and the nature of the work, sometimes we can provide that payrolling and contracting service. And then sometimes we aren't sure if this position is going to be required from a long-term perspective. So we'd like to start off with a contractor, test out, does this role a long-term fit for us? Do we actually need this role? Or we're not sure about the candidate, but we were happy to proceed on an interim or a contract basis and then see how that develops over a 3, 6, 9 month, 12-month period and go from there. So it really does depend on the client, the circumstances, and the specific set of work that needs to be done. But it provides some flexibility to the customer. And also there are thousands of candidates who prefer that contracting model because generally the rates are quite higher because of the lack of guarantee of work in the future. And so if you can set up yourself as a lifelong contractor, you can earn a good living doing so. Obviously, it's harder and you have to be good at keeping up relationships as a contractor, but there's value on both sides in doing that type of work.
Well, that's a great way to fill leadership roles in the short term.
Correct.
Lastly is your retained search. Now, many people may not be familiar with this type of recruitment service. So what is retained search and how does this recruitment service work?
Sure. So retained search is it is a collaborative sole supplier relationship type of service. It is a service where the client would retain us or any other recruitment or search partner as their sole partner for going to market. Generally, it used to be only predominantly used for senior, C-suite type of roles. It's coming more and more into the market, and we've been operating this almost my entire career and in this model. Because it provides that collaboration, it allows for a greater visibility, and it enables us to add in additional assessment pieces in terms of how we assess the candidate. It allows us to run a search as a project rather than, give us a brief and we'll come back to you whenever we feel like it in a contingent environment, right? So it gives you much more of a project management methodology, gives you a better assessment process, gives you greater transparency. From our side, it also gives you access to our technology stack as well and our CRM for that specific project. So there's some tools and technology access that we allocate to the client when they do retain us as well. So it's a much more robust and complete search and assessment process. The challenge some clients have initially to get their heads wrapped around it does require a payment upfront. So generally, it's a percentage of the total fee. And so that payment's used up front, and then that is used as a credit to offset the total fee at the end. So you don't end up paying more. You just have to pay a deposit up front. It's essentially paying for service rather than paying at the end. You pay a small piece up front.
Thanks, Tony. Well, that's actually a great segue to start talking about your fantastic recruitment offer for Supply Chain Partners members, because your offer pertains to retained search recruitment service. Mm-hmm. So could you please explain your excellent recruitment offer for Supply Chain Partners members?
Sure. So look, I just wanted to, first of all, say thanks to you, Sharon. You've been a great partner of ours, and Supply Chain Partners has been a fantastic support for here at Bastian Consulting. And so what we're offering between now and the end of by December 31st is a 30% discount on all retained assignments that are signed off between now and the end of the calendar year. So if you have any searches that you'd like to start or thinking about replacing a role or needing to hire new positions and you'd like a 30% discount, please get in contact with either myself or our business partner, Stephanie at 𝗕𝗏𝗶𝗫.io, and she'll certainly give you a bit more information on that offering.
That's fantastic, Tony. Thank you very much. We're very grateful for your fantastic offer for our members. Now, Tony, how busy is this time of year for recruitment of supply chain and technology roles?
Yeah, look, I think 3 or 4 years ago, generally this time of year is slow, right? December, Jan, this country, kids are going on school holidays, school's wrapping up, people are taking time off for the summer holidays, business is slowing down. That's changed, though. I mean, certainly in the last couple of years, the investment in supply chain and technology is like it's never been before. And so the amount of activity around new hires has been increased significantly. Even now, we had a little bit of a, mid-November, there was a little bit of a lull, but it's ramped back up again. Like, we're incredibly busy at the moment as well. So Right now, there's a lot of activity, again, in logistics services, in technology, and in consulting. Those are probably the three biggest areas. So right now for us, you normally say this isn't a busy period, but for us right now, it's incredibly busy.
So it really is a timely recruitment offer, and I'm sure our members are going to absolutely love those massive savings that they can actually put those savings into other parts of their business. So let's now welcome some questions from our audience. I'll just check the chat. And we don't have any questions. So Tony, I've noticed on your website that you have a retained search webpage that you have a calculator for your clients to calculate how much their job vacancy is costing them. Could you please explain the purpose of this calculator and how it works and what it reveals for your clients?
Sure. So the calculator is there just to use as a tool. Again, it's adjustable based on the salary and the seniority of the position you're looking to recruit, but it takes into consideration, and the formula is used around your cost of having the position vacant, the time of the position being vacant, and generally the cost of business if you don't fill the role, right? So we've used some assumptions to populate that calculation as well, but it's to give you an idea that having positions open, especially over a considerable amount of time, can be a real detriment to the business, not only in terms of operational, but also in terms of profitability. And so it's generally used as a guideline to suggest, well, look, if you have this position open for this long, you can really be costing your business some profit and some revenue as well. So.
Great. So I also understand that your retained search recruitment service includes performance-based pricing structure. Could you please explain the benefits of this pricing structure?
Yeah, so we can, depending on the role, specifically in things like sales or any kind of commission-based roles, we can structure our pricing based on the performance of the candidate. It does need to be for a specific set of types of roles with some specific set of criteria. I'd be happy to explain that a bit more in detail with clients who are looking to have a discussion around that. But generally, that type of service is reserved for commercial, sales, business development roles where there are some key performance metrics that we can tie to our service as well.
That's excellent, Tony. So our members at Supply Chain Partners are going to love your recruitment offer that provides them with a 30% discount on all retained assignments signed off between now and the 31st of December. So members, if you have any vacant positions in supply chain or technology, you should contact Bastian Consulting to take advantage of this very special recruitment offer before it ends very soon. And for our prospective members, Supply Chain Partners has a very special launch offer. We have recently launched our 2 new memberships, the individual memberships and also the corporate buyer membership. And individuals and corporate buyers can join for free on a 1-year free trial. And expert suppliers, you can also join Supply Chain Partners and receive excellent promotional benefits. And if you're a Gold Partner Expert Supplier member, you'll enjoy promotional benefits that allow you to be promoted all year long, because we provide you with a consistent promotion of your storefront and all of your services and offerings, and provide you with opportunities like this to participate in Supply Chain Partners Coffee Break. So if you're not yet a member, join Supply Chain Partners and you'll be able to take advantage of this very special offer. Now, I'm going to provide you with a tour of Supply Chain Partners Marketplace and Professional Community. But before I do, Tony, thank you very much for joining us today from Bastian Consulting. We are very grateful for your very special recruitment offer for our Supply Chain Partners members.
Thanks, Sharon. It's been great seeing you guys, and Merry Christmas to everyone. Talk to you in the new year.
Thank you very much. Talk soon.
You guys. Bye.
Bye. So I'm just going to share my screen. So at Supply Chain Partners, we are your one-stop shop solution for all your needs with regards to business solutions and supply chain solutions. So the industry has relied on Supply Chain Partners to provide them with expert suppliers across a whole range of needs. And right now we're welcoming our audience. We have a large global audience of over 21,000 across the world in excellent positions across all the relevant positions and across 50+ industries. And so we are very happy that we are growing growing our audience very fast. And so we have decided to welcome our audience into our professional community, and that way they can have a better relationship with our expert suppliers so that we can go through and explore their solutions at a deeper level, because we have a range of events, opportunities for them to attend. So I'll be going through each of the different types of memberships, but as an expert supplier, you have an excellent opportunity to promote and showcase your innovative solutions as well. And you can also deliver professional development or attend professional development. And we have our Supply Chain Partners TV and podcast that we launched earlier this year, and we're broadcasting to 19 different countries that are actually listening to our podcast every day. And so we're very happy with this take up of our podcast. And so where the benefit is for corporate buyers is that you're able to build your industry ecosystem with our expert suppliers. So building your industry ecosystem across 4 key areas is essential, that all of your physical needs are attended to with regards to movement and storage of your inventory and assets, materials handling, and then the digital side with all your technology requirements, real-time technology, automation and robotics, and then with your people requirements, as we were just speaking with our Bastian Consulting expert supplier about recruitment of people. And also there's the change management side and people development side, and then process, so development of strategy, and compliance standards, improvement processes, and also benchmarking. So all of our suppliers provide all these different types of offerings across the absolute broad categories that we have. So we're very intentional that we have broad categories to make it absolutely easy to find expert suppliers. Now, what we do every month is we publish our Supply Chain Partners TV and podcast 3 times a month. And then on the 4th week, we publish our big newsletter. So our big newsletter will be coming out on Monday. So here are our broad categories, and the homepage of our marketplace is dedicated to our expert suppliers, our gold partner expert suppliers, and they get to feature their services. So every time you refresh this for homepage, you will see a random assortment of featured services of our gold partners and their featured products, and also their thought leadership articles, and then a random assortment of our valued gold partners. And then you'll see our Supply Chain Partners TV and podcast, and we also respect the branding of their brand colors. And then you'll see all the different types of events and development opportunities. And right now we're preparing a full calendar of events for 2023. So more about that soon. And we also have our jobs board, because it's important that we help our industry professionals with their careers. So let's now discover what else that you can do. So when you join as an expert supplier member, you appear in our directory. So in our directory, you're able to set up a storefront and publish all your services and products, etc. And then you will appear in this list, and with your snapshot you give your audience a great opportunity to find out quickly what your business is all about, and then they can click through to your storefront. And so all of our gold partner expert supply members appear first, and then we go down to our silver partners and then our bronze partners. And then you'll see Bastian Consulting here. So let's have a look at Bastian Consulting storefront. So as we can see, they have an excellent cover photo, and you can change your cover photo anytime you like so that you can promote something particular, or you can leave it as your corporate photo. Now we can hover over the badge and see what partner, what badge, what membership level they are at, and then we can have a look at their storefront. So with the overview section, it really has 2 things that we need to do. We need to provide information to inform corporate buyers about what your services are all about and what your business is all about. And we also showcase your credentials. So this builds the confidence of the buyer in your services. You can dress up your storefront, so it is a mini website, and so you get to make it very attractive. And so we can see all of the services that are provided by Bastian Consulting across their 2 areas of specialization. And they also get to publish which categories they belong to, and so that way they appear in those relevant categories. And so when people are looking for consultants, they will appear in the list of consultants. They can also publish their services, and so here we can see the 3 services that we were just mentioning, so you can find out more about those services there. And then this is the podcast that we that we published earlier this year, and then they can list their jobs. So when you're looking for jobs, then Bastian Consulting have a range of excellent jobs to help you with your career. So you've got massive publishing capability on your storefront, and I'm going to introduce you to that soon. So as soon as you start publishing all your services, products, training, events, etc. on your storefront, then it's going to appear in the list of services, etc. So then you can scroll through and have a look at these services. And so we do respect the membership level. So all the gold partner services will appear first in a random order, then the silver partner, then the bronze partner services. And then here are all the products of all of our members, expert supplier members. And then we have a list of training, so training and development opportunities. So these are excellent opportunities that you can take advantage of as well. And you will see a lot of offers there as well. And in our events, so these are the events that you can see what's happening right now. And so a lot of our members, they'll be publishing from time to time about their webinars that they'll be holding, or they may be exhibiting at events or speaking at events. So they're the different types of events that you'll see. And soon you're going to be seeing a lot more events. We're going to have a very full calendar for 2023. You're going to see executive roundtables. We'll have fireside chats. We'll have educational webinars. We will have deep dive workshops. And we'll be holding our Supply Chain Partners Virtual Summit every second month, and our Supply Chain Partners Coffee Break every Friday. So there's a lot happening. Now, there's quite a few of our members who are speakers, and they speak at industry events. And so what we've done, we've provided them with the opportunity to select speaker so that they appear in the list of speakers. And then when our industry organizers want to have a look, and they need speakers because they often contact us for speakers, and so we introduce them to speakers. And with our members, they can actually explain a bit more about who their speakers are and what topics they speak about. So this gives them the opportunity to explain that. Then we move right along to offers. And so these are the offers, and we can see the retained search offer that we were talking about right now for this coffee break, and we can see all the other offers that are available as well. And so you can have a look at the product offers, and there are a lot of training offers. And so these are offers for our members, and so forth. So, and these offers will continue to grow, and some of them have expiry dates, so you have to get in very fast to use some of these offers. And so here is the executive search offer, and so this is an explanation about that offer and also about the service itself. So you can have a look at that, and you can contact, and here's some examples about the assignments that Bastian Consulting have delivered. Let's now have a look at the resources. And so when you publish articles and videos, etc., then you appear in our list of thought leadership articles. And so you can have a look at those articles by our members. And then you can have a look at all their videos that they've been publishing. So we've got some excellent videos there. And with their case studies, so with their case studies, they get to explain their experience, that how they've helped other clients to help them with their operations and improvement requirements and their growth of their organization. Now, we also have a glossary, because as you fully appreciate, there are a lot of acronyms and terms. And so here we're helping industry to understand all those different types of terms. And then with our Supply Chain Partners TV and podcast, then you can feature in our Supply Chain Partners TV and podcast. And so we publish across our YouTube and about 10 plus podcast channels, and that goes worldwide. And so we have a particular process that we carry out when we put together a podcast. And let's have a look at our podcast with Bastian Consulting. So here we can see the video, so you're welcome to watch the video, or you can listen to the podcast. So this is live on Spotify, and then you can listen to it here, or you can listen to it on your favorite channel. So Apple still seems to be the #1 favorite channel across the world, and podcast and Spotify is pretty close as well. So I'll break down what we do in our interviews. So we do have 3 parts to our interviews, and the first part is about looking at a particular industry issue. It's a business issue or a supply chain issue, and we really want to understand understand that issue further. So this allows our expert supplier member to explain that particular issue. How is it impacting on industry? How's it impacting on organizations? And, what should we be doing? So then we get to unpack a real life client example. And so in this particular example, Bastian Consulting explains how they helped their clients with a particular need that they had. And then we also looked at their services. So that is the third part of the interview, is where we actually get to understand further about that particular service that we were focusing on, about how they helped that particular client to address those issues. So that's how we put together our podcast. Now let's have a look at what you can also do is feature on Supply Chain Partners Coffee Break LinkedIn Live. So it's live streaming live from LinkedIn and YouTube. And so you can be our guest when you're a member and when you're an expert supplier member. So if you come up with a fantastic offer, then this is a complimentary service for our members. And then we have our news. So you can go through here and have a look at our news. And then you can also have a look at our big newsletter. So our big newsletter is dedicated to our Gold Partner Expert Supplier members. And the title of our newsletter is based on the podcast that we're promoting that month. And so you can come through, and we always continue to promote our member offers. So it's an excellent way to keep driving traffic to your business by providing offers. You will see membership, you'll see banner ads. And you get a free banner ad if you put your member badge on your website that points to your storefront. And then you'll see your podcast that we're featuring. Then you'll see what we're doing is we're promoting our gold partners. So we feature a featured article, we'll feature a featured service, there'll be a featured product. And also we'll either feature one particular event or we'll showcase a list of events that we're promoting. And then we'll drive traffic to 3 categories, and then we'll showcase 6 gold partners, and then our gold partners appear in our gold partner logo collage. So there's a lot happening all the time. And here is the jobs board. So you can have a look at that jobs board. And we also promote graduate programs. And with our individuals joining Supply Chain Partners, they are now starting to publish their open for work. So you'll be able to find candidates who are looking for jobs. So if you press on subscribe, you will find there's about 10 plus ways to subscribe to Supply Chain Partners. So you can subscribe to our email newsletter. Now, we're logisticians here, so we don't waste anything. So all of our newsletters, they are received on a fortnightly basis to our email subscribers. So they receive all of our newsletters, and we keep all of our newsletters timely. And so the first time they'll receive our fresh newsletter, it will have the current events, but all of the other newsletters that we've published in the past, they will not have an events section. So this keeps our newsletter evergreen. And you'll also receive updates. You can subscribe. So this is what we look like on the podcast. So when you find us on Spotify, etc., you'll be able to subscribe. Also subscribe to our social media on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Twitter and Facebook. You can join our Supply Chain Partners Inner Circle and get the inside scoop from our members. And then we have our 2 newsletters on LinkedIn. So this is linked to our Supply Chain Partners LinkedIn company page. And then also our big newsletter, which is linked to my LinkedIn profile. And so that's growing quite healthily at the moment, well over 7,000 subscribers to that. And when we do publish our newsletters and publish our podcast articles, they're now seen, they get about 1,000 views in about an hour. That used to be 24 hours. Now it's just 1 hour. And there's hundreds of views within the first 30 seconds. It's just incredible. So when you contact us, we've made it super easy. You can actually set up a time to meet with us. You can contact us through the form here or email us or phone us, but we've made it easy for you to schedule a meeting with us for a quick catch up, or if you'd like an introduction so we can meet your business and also we can explain about Supply Chain Partners. As soon as you become a member, then we provide you with a member induction. So we need to introduce you to your storefront and how to use all of its capabilities. And anytime you need support, and if you want to book your spot on Supply Chain Partners Coffee Break or set up your podcast interview, or you can swap out one of your interviews for a LinkedIn Live event if you want something branded purely for your brand. Let's now have a look at our memberships. So why join Supply Chain Partners? Well, we are a global professional community. So not only mainly in Australia, but also across the globe. So we do have global members, and it is about the innovative solutions, because we're here to find better ways to operate, improve, and grow. So our expert supply members are integral to our community, and this allows our members to explore these solutions. And we also have a lot of member-to-member introductions and collaborations, and that's also all part of membership. Now, with our strategic sourcing gateway for our corporate buyers and also for our executive individual members, you can have access to our sourcing concierge so that we can introduce you to expert suppliers. You can also publish tenders and requests for proposals and quotes. You can also hold supplier development events, because it is very important that suppliers get to understand how to do business with you, what are your pre-qualification requirements, etc. With the professional development events, I was mentioning those events before, so you've got awesome opportunities to attend many different types of professional development, and you'll have access to the member library. So all of our events will be recorded, and so those recordings will be in the member library. And as we mentioned before, our individual workers can also promote and set up a page about what they're looking for in their future employment, what are their career aspirations. And I've also mentioned about our Supply Chain Partners podcast. You can access each of our membership options here or also from the main menu. I mentioned about our educational approach, and that works both sides. Just from the educational approach from the supplier side about, unpacking those innovative solutions, because you don't know what you don't know. And so when our expert suppliers come up with new technology, new processes, new ways of doing things, we really need to understand, how does this all work? And so that's what we do at Supply Chain Partners. We provide a platform, we provide our members with a voice so that they can explain what those innovative solutions are all about. We also provide a platform for our corporate buyers to educate suppliers about their business requirements and about their procurement requirements. So with our global audience that I was mentioning, so here are all the different types of functions that our global audience hold, and they hold those responsibilities at a global level, national level, and also local level. They go across 50+ industry sectors, and a large portion of our audience deal with inventory and assets. And this is very important to our target, to our expert suppliers, because they will be helping them with their physical requirements or process requirements or technology requirements, etc. Let's now have a look at our individual membership. So our individual membership is based on that networking aspect is very important, the professional development and looking after their careers. Now, at the executive level, you also can act as a mini corporate buyer. So you will have those opportunities to publish requests for tenders, etc. So all of our members get to attend our professional development events, and I mentioned what they were. And so you can come down here and have a look at the different types of benefits. So the benefits are tapered down as you go down the levels, but they're still excellent benefits. Let's have a look at an example member profile. So this is Mary. So Mary is a procurement manager at company XYZ. We can hover over her member badge and see that she's an executive individual member. We can see here that she's actually here from her business perspective, because she has her corporate photo. She's chosen to put her employer's image up there. And she's got the company name represented as well, and the company's website. And so, but you don't have to represent a company. You can just be here from your own personal needs. And so you can pop up your social media links as well. You can dress up your member profile however you like, and to really introduce yourself and to explain what you're all about and what your skills are. Now, because Mary is an executive member, she can actually publish tenders and requests for proposals. Now, so an individual member profile and the corporate buyer, you cannot see those from the outside. You need to be a member to actually see these. But with these examples, we're allowing you to see what these actually look like. And we've provided some examples about how you could be publishing. And you can also publish some articles at the individual level as well. And it's really a good idea to request request testimonials from employers, because you can actually put these testimonials on your on your member profile as well. So with the corporate buyer, you have two sides that you can be looking at. And one is your strategic sourcing gateway, if you would like assistance with sourcing or publishing your tenders, etc., or holding supply development events. Then the other side is the professional development side. And this is so that you and your team can participate in all of our different types of events. So we just have the one option here. And at the moment, you can join for free on a 1-year free trial. And because we are looking for feedback with regards to the design of our corporate buyer membership and also our individual membership. So we'll be seeking feedback from our members about the design. Now, let's all have a look at our example corporate buyer profile. So with the corporate buyer, you're able to publish a lot more on your storefront with your tenders, etc. And then you have your own articles, videos, events, training, etc. And so that appears in the corporate buyer list of articles and videos, etc. They're not merged with our expert suppliers. And so as a corporate buyer, you can showcase what your business is about, because it is very important for the expert suppliers to get a really good understanding about your business. And they can also have a look through your articles, etc. Let's now have a look at the sourcing concierge. So basically, when you need assistance with your sourcing, then you can complete this form or just contact us. So with the expert supply membership, so this is where we go into a large area of benefits. So there's two sides, and that is the all-in-one business development and marketing solution. So you do get to reach our global audience through all of our promotions. So this is who we promote your business to using your storefront. So we promote your storefront, and we promote and at the gold partner level, we promote your content, any content that you publish, and we drip feed that out across our social media. So building brand awareness is the number one thing that we do very well with our expert supplier members, and connecting our members to their target audience. Now, what you can also do, and this is new that we've introduced, is that you can deliver professional development events to our members, or you can actually just attend the professional development events. So we're all learning every day, and so it's important that we all attend these events and learn just that little bit more about how to improve and grow and operate our organizations. So you do have massive publishing capability on your storefront, and there are massive opportunities for promotion. And if you have something in particular that you would like to promote, then we can combine these benefits as well, and to develop a promotional campaign. You also have a marketing plan so that we can follow through how we're implementing all of these promotional benefits, and you have the opportunity to appear on the Supply Chain Partners TV and podcast. And if that's not enough, that you can purchase more. So you do have excellent access to professional development to deliver or attend, and promoting your member offers. So this is something new that we have introduced, and also allows you to appear on our Supply Chain Partners coffee break. Our member-to-member introductions and collaborations is very popular. And so we have the gold partner, and then we have the silver partner, and we have the bronze partner levels. So all of our levels have excellent benefits. So I'll let you have a read of that. You can also download our supplier membership brochure. Now, with our storefront for our supplier, if you want to go to town and use everything that's available to you, you have excellent publishing capability so that you can go through. Now, all of these also act as like mini tutorials, so you can click on any of these and get ideas about how you could be dressing up each of your pages. So, and with these collaborations, you can also announce collaborations that you have with other members in our community. So this example storefront provides you with really great ideas about how you could be dressing up your storefront and displaying your credentials and your achievements, so that you know, what should I be displaying to serve those two purposes? That's to inform the buyer and also to increase the confidence of the buyer. So there's lots of different ways that you could be achieving that. And we provide training in how to use your storefront. Now, if you want to get your membership for free, then you can actually join now, and you'll be on a free trial. Or moving forward, you can actually earn credit. So you can build up this credit, and you'll see this credit grow in your dashboard. So every time you recommend a new corporate buyer or expert supplier or individual and they join on a paid membership plan, then you will earn that credit, and that credit will appear in your storefront, and you'll be able to use that credit on membership renewals and upgrades. And if you're an expert supplier, you can have access to our VIP services club for additional marketing support. So next week our coffee break is with the Paradigm Venture Group. So you'll get to find out about their excellent member offer for Supply Chain Partners members. Now, Paradigm is a performance improvement company. They help to improve the performance of business workflows, supply chain, and healthcare performance. So we'll be providing more information about that shortly. So we want to thank you very much for joining us today for our Supply Chain Partners coffee break. So we're now at the end of our Supply Chain Partners coffee break with Bastian Consulting. So Bastian Consulting are executive search experts who source and recruit leaders in supply chain and technology that deliver change for your business. So be sure to take advantage of their very special recruitment offer for Supply Chain Partners members to achieve massive recruitment savings. Now, we'd love you to join our professional community at Supply Chain Partners, and we hope to see you at our next coffee break next Friday, the 23rd of December at the same time. And we'll be spending our coffee break with our Gold Partner Expert Supplier member, Paradigm Venture Group, and we'll be finding about their very special offer for Supply Chain Partners members. So bye for now, and we look forward to seeing you soon.